All right, I just got a question in my DMs that I thought would make a really good video. And the question was, I have a service-based business. So I take on a client and then I actually have to like work with them. I think this person was actually a graphic designer. So she had every time she takes on a new client, that's a new project, right? Her question was, I have a service-based business. Can I still systematize it? And I found that to be such an interesting question. And so I asked her a few more questions about why she thought she couldn't systematize her business. And I think maybe what happens and what she expressed is that a lot of us think about a systemized business as something like selling a digital course or a product or ebooks or things like that, when actually I think the people who need it most are the people who are service-based businesses like a VA or a graphic designer or a copywriter or a nutritionist or even a coach who works one-on-one with people. Like all of those people, you actually have so much that you need to do. For every product that you sell, you have to fulfill, right? So your time is already becoming a little bit more limited. And this is not a bad thing. I think, there's a lot of like talk online about like leverage your time and blah blah blah. And I think yes, we definitely should be looking for ways to leverage our time. However, if you like being a service-based business, I think we need service-based businesses. I love working with service providers. I hire them all the time. So I think we need tons of them, and it's a really lucrative business. So you don't have to change that, but you definitely need to figure out ways to create systems for everything else that happens in your business, right? So you can have your own workflow for like how actually deliver work on the website or whatever, and like you have your own process. But in terms of creating systems, let me share with you a few that I think every service-based business needs. Okay. And there's quite a few. I have a bunch of webinars on the systems that I really recommend, but there's a few that I want to touch on right away. The first system is a marketing system. So what I see happen a lot is that you get a new client and then you're working on, working with that new client or delivering the product for that client. And your marketing can kind of go out the window once you've closed a client. And sometimes once you're wrapping up with that client, you think, oh, I got to get my next client and I haven't been doing any marketing. So you need to have a marketing system in place that allows you to have either a content workflow or marketing workflow, or automated marketing, or paid advertising, or even evergreen marketing systems. It's one of my personal favorites that last forever and ever and are working for you all the time, so that no matter what you're doing, you're marketing and warming up new potential clients behind the scenes while you're working on whatever you need to do for this client. The next thing is a growth system. You always need to be growing your community and growing your potential, pot of leads, right? These are people who may want to work with you, or maybe will want to buy one of your products down the line if you do decide to start creating some products and stuff like that. Or maybe they know somebody who they'll refer to you, or whatever it is. So you definitely need a growth system in place to consistently be bringing in traffic to your website, capturing that traffic through some sort of automated system, and then having a process to warm them up or market to them once you have started growing that community. Growing your community always needs to be happening. It's just, that's kind of how you run a business. And so that system should be automated so that it requires as little from you as possible, as often as possible. The third thing is your sales system. So there should be processes happening behind the scenes, no matter what you're doing, that gets people to book a call with you, especially if you're a service-based business. I'm going to assume that you're taking calls to see, is this the type of client I want to work with? Is it going to be a good fit? Are we going to be able to jive? Can they afford my services? And for you to pitch them a proposal. That should be happening all the time. So even as you're working on your other clients' stuff, people are booking into your calendar and ready to start working with you. So you've been marketing to people, you've been growing that community, and now we want them to be booking into your calendar so that this beginning of the sales process is started for you. Maybe they've even had a chance to look at your sales page or some of your portfolio. All of that should be part of your sales process and your sales system. And one of the last ones that I want to touch on today is your onboarding and delivery system. So this should also be automatic and is going to make your life really easy. And maybe even in here too is your offboarding system. So when someone says yes and pays you, hopefully it triggers automatically the onboarding process that's really smooth and really enjoyable for people. But also once they finish working with you, you can trigger the offboarding process that maybe gets you testimonials and sends off your client super happy and feeling like you over delivered. Those are the systems. That's kind of the operation system. So those are the ones that I think every service-based business needs. I think in 2022, now's the time that a lot of us are really thinking about how we want to be spending our free time. And the things that we're kind of attracted to are what I call time luxuries. These are the things like brewing your coffee the slow way in the morning instead of like quickly going through a drive-through, or hanging your clothes out on the line, or having time to like take a break in the middle of the day and read a chapter of a book instead of feeling like you're behind and you got to listen to a podcast while you unload the dishwasher and while you DM your clients and like all of that, right? So the more you can put these systems in place, the more fulfilled you're going to be by a service-based business. And I know a lot of people can get burnt out by that type of service-based business. And I don't think that's necessary if you have systems in place. And so not only will you be able to grow quicker, you'll also be able to enjoy the process much more, and your clients will too. And on top of that, you're also going to be attracting the right type of clients because they've already gone through your systems and they've been kind of like pre-qualified to be the right people because you've marketed to the right people. They've gone through your growth and the sales process. And so they kind of have an idea of the type of client that you work with and what it's going to be like working with you. So you're going to actually get better clients and they're going to be coming to you all the time if you have the right systems in place. So to answer her question, we already talked obviously, but if you had the same question, yes, if you have a system, if you have a service-based business, you absolutely can systematize it. And those are some ideas how. All right, talk to you soon.